Hi, it is the end of the year and we are in a government shutdown, and of course this is a very difficult time for federal families in those departments that are still unfunded. As a matter of fact, on the 82nd Street academic site, I have said if you are a federally paid family and you are a victim of the current circumstance, please write to me and I'll make sure that we work out some kind of payment schedule so that you don't have child care expenses doubling everything else during this very difficult period. This can also be a difficult time for nonprofits. And in the 2013 shutdown, as I mentioned online, Headstart centers had to close. Parents had no place to put their children during that time. And many hourly wage employees were paid by the nonprofit and not later reimbursed by the federal government. So this is a difficult time. And if you're a nonprofit and you are struggling, first of all, I would say that we've got to look to the long-term future and get a fiscal structure which has a dominant and a secondary source of funding. A lot of people are very dependent. Since 1980, government contracting has taken over the nonprofit world. And if you're in that situation, then it's not just a federal shutdown, but it's many other circumstances which can give you a shortage of funds while you wait for some government to pay. When 82nd Street was at Jamaica, there was a 10-month period where the Department of Education wanted us to provide services, but we could not get reimbursed for reasons related to the landlord and the certificate of occupancy. So by April, the New York City owed us over $1 million on a $5 million budget. That would put many nonprofits out of business. And we have a secondary source of funding in fee-for-service. That's how we got started. So the combination of those two sources of funding gives us stability. We're able to put together a capital target so that we've got cash in the bank. And because of that, we can ride through a difficult moment. And that should be your main goal for your long-term, for your 3 to 5 year picture, is having specific targets for cash reserve so that when this happens again, possibly a government shutdown, but more likely some delay in a state or local contract, then you've got the cash to get through until the accounts receivable come. In the short term, if you're suffering today and listening to this, then please write to me. And I do have an article from Alan Miltz on the power of one, and I've added a couple things to it for nonprofits. So there are some sources of funding that are available, and you may not be aware of it, sources of getting cash so that you can make this next payroll or two until you're able to straighten out your ship of state and get it sailing smoothly. So meanwhile, let's stay in touch.